The sound of something shattering on the ground echoed through the compound. Before Obinna could even bend down to gather the pieces, his mother's voice sliced through the air like a cutlass. Obinna! Obinna! May God punish you, dear. So, this is how you will kill me before my time? She stormed out of the kitchen, holding the handle of the broken enamel plate as if it were evidence in a murder case. The neighbors passing along the road immediately slowed their steps. They knew drama was about to unfold. Obinna, tall for his teenage years and always carrying the tired eyes of a grown man, swallowed hard. Mama, it was a mistake. The plate slipped. I will look for money and buy another one. Buy another one? Mama Obinna screamed, beating her chest like someone bereaved. Do you think plates grow on trees? That plate has been in this family longer than your life. From the day your father, Maduka, bought it, not one crack. But since the day you entered this world, bad luck has been following us. First, you killed your father. Now, you have killed his property. What next? You want to kill me too? The neighbors gasped. Some whispered, some giggled. One old woman muttered under her breath, Chai, is this how a mother should talk to her son? Obinna didn't argue. He bent quietly to pick the pieces, his rough palms trembling. Behind the doorway, his younger siblings, Ekene and Ozioma, picked out nervously. They were still teenagers, but they had already learned one thing in this house. Mama's anger always had only one target, their elder brother. Mama, Ekene said timidly, it's just a plate. Mama Obinna spun on him like lightning. Shut up there before I add you to the troublemaker. Do you want to grow up and be useless like your brother? Don't defend him. Didn't I tell both of you that nothing good comes from Obinna? Watch him well. He will spoil your lives if you follow his ways. Obinna's chest tightened, but he said nothing. He was used to it. Since the day their father died, Mama Obinna had treated him more like an enemy than a son. By now, more villagers had gathered outside the fence, whispering and shaking their heads. One man chuckled, if I didn't know better, I'll think that this boy isn't her child at all. Mama Obinna's ears caught it. She spun around, her wrapper swaying violently. You lie! That boy is my son. I know my son, and I also know he will bring me sorrow till the day I die. Her voice cracked across the compound, leaving the villagers silent. Even Obinna's heart thudded harder than before. He had heard his mother curse him many times, but today felt different. When Maduka died, Obinna was barely in his teens. Yet, from that moment, the weight of the entire household fell on his shoulders. It was Obinna who woke up before dawn to fetch water from the stream. It was Obinna who carried firewood on his back until the skin darkened more than the sun itself. It was Obinna who tilled the farmland, who roasted yam for his siblings, who ran errands from one compound to another, all while his mates were still chasing grasshoppers and flying kites. But did Mama Obinna ever say thank you? Never. If Obinna brought home food from the farm, she would scroll, are you sure you didn't steal it? Look at him, thief like his spirit. Since your father left, misfortune is now wearing shoes in this house. If Obinna washed Ekene and Ozioma's school uniform, she would slap him. You think you're helping me? You want to tear the clothes so they will be naked like you? Sometimes the neighbors shook their head in pity. Sometimes they laughed at the ridiculousness, but to Obinna, it was his life. One evening, Obinna returned late from the farm, carrying cassava on his head. He was sweaty, tired, and his legs wobbled. Ekene and Ozioma ran to him. Brother Obinna, did you bring us food? Ozioma's eyes lit up. Obinna smiled faintly, dropped the cassava, and patted her head. Yes, I will cook for you. Just give me a few minutes. But before he could even wash his hands, Mama Obinna charged out. So, you have killed yourself in the farm, and now you want to kill us with your poison too? Who told you can cook in this house? But Mama, Ozioma whispered, Obinna's food is sweet. Sweet? Mama's eyes almost popped out. If I hear you say that again, I will sew your lips. You children should not be deceived. That boy is bad luck in human form. Obinna said nothing. He only turned back to the fire and started pounding the cassava, the pistol echoing like a drum of sorrow. As Obinna grew into his late teenage years, the gossip in the village thickened. Have you noticed how Mama Obinna treats her first son? One woman asked at the stream. Another replied, it's not ordinary. Maybe the boy brought death to her husband. That's why she hates him. No, a third one whispered. If you ask me, I think he's not her son at all. They all laughed nervously and carried their buckets. But the question never died. Why does this woman despise her first child so much? That night, Obinna lay on his raffia mat, staring at the ceiling. His siblings were asleep beside him, breathing softly innocently. He thought about his father Maduka and the last words he ever said. Take care of your siblings, Obinna. Be a man. Obinna sighed deeply. He wanted to keep that promise, but each time his mother's insult echoed in his ears, a small voice whispered, no matter what you do, she will never love you. Years passed and the children of Maduka grew into adults. Obinna, against all odds, had carved a small life for himself. He married a gentle woman who respected him, and soon the sound of children filled his compound. 2 boys, a girl. His laughter returned whenever he watched them play in the dust. But in the other corner of the family, silence reigned. Ekene had taken a wife, and Ozioma had gone to her husband's home. Yet, month after month, year after year, no cries of babies came from their huts. The village began to whisper again, as villagers always do. Is it not strange? Obinna, that Mama Obinna always curses, has children like sands of the river. But Ekene and Ozioma, that she praises, no single child yet. Mystery, oh, maybe the gods are showing us something. Mama Obinna, hearing the whispers, wasted no time. She gathered Ekene and Ozioma one evening in her hut. You see now, didn't I tell you both long ago, she said, her eyes flashing like coals. It is because of Obinna. That boy is the shadow over this family. As long as he lives, your wombs and loins will remain locked. Can't you see? The gods are angry with us because of him. Ozioma trembled. But Mama, he is still our brother. Brother, Mama Obinna thundered. Don't call him that again. Did I not warn you when you were young? He brings nothing but misfortune. Look at your barren homes. Who else is to blame? Ekene clenched his fist, torn between doubt and desperation. His wife had cried too many nights. His in-laws had mocked him too often. Perhaps Mama was right. Perhaps the bad luck really had a name. From that day, things changed. When Obinna visited Ekene with gifts of yam, Ekene frowned and said coldly, Brother, thank you, but don't bring this to my home again. We are still praying to have our own. We don't need your pity. Obinna's heart sank. Ekene, it's not pity. We are blood. Blood, Ekene spat. If you're really blood, then why are we suffering while you're enjoying? Ozioma too began to avoid him. When Obinna's wife tried to greet her at the stream, she looked away. When his children ran to play with her, she hissed and walked off. The bond that once tied them together as children had been cut like an old rope. One afternoon at the market, 2 women exchanged knowing glances. Have you seen how Ekene and Ozioma now treat Obinna? Yes, Mama Obinna has finally succeeded. She has turned the children against one another. That woman, if the gods don't judge her one day, then I am not alive. That night, Obinna sat outside his hut, his children asleep inside. He looked up at the moon and whispered, Papa, I kept my promise. I raised them. I loved them. But now they hate me. What did I do to deserve this? From the distance, Mama Obinna's voice rang through the night like a curse. Obinna, may your laughter turn to tears one day. Obinna shut his eyes, his fist clenched. For the first time in his life, he wondered if maybe, just maybe, his mother wasn't just wicked. Maybe she knew something he didn't. By now, Obinna's compound was full of life. His children's laughter echoed every morning as they chased one another around the courtyard. His wife hummed cheerfully as she cooked. Neighbors often said, Obinna's home is a blessed home. But in Mama Obinna's hut, the opposite brewed. She sat one evening staring at the smoke from her fire, her face hard. Ekene and Ozioma sat with her, their faces weary. Look at your brother, Mama Obina hissed. Does he not mock you with his children? Every day his wife is shouting at the backyard. His children are scattering the compound. He is flaunting it in your faces. Ozioma sighed. Mama, maybe it's just how God planned it. Maybe one day. Shut your mouth, Mama snapped. Have you forgotten what I told you since childhood? Nothing good comes from that boy. The God knows it. That is why they closed your wombs. Until he is removed, you will not see joy. Ekene clenched his jaw. So what do we do, Mama? Mama Obina's eyes glistened like fire in the shadow. We must stop his joy. If he thinks he can enjoy while both of you suffer, then let him taste pain too. The next day she went to the market. While haggling for yam, she whispered to a herbal seller, do you have something small that can make a person sleep and not wake up? The woman selling snails beside them dropped her jaw. Mama Obina, this your mouth. You know they fear God. Mama Obina hissed, mind your business before I add you to my problems. The market women burst out laughing, but behind the humor, her bitterness was obvious. That evening, Obina came to see her with a basket of food. Mama, my wife sent this for you. She said you will like the melon soup. Mama Obina eyed the basket. Keep it there. Do you think food can wash away what you have done to this family? The day you were born was the day my sorrow began. Obina bowed his head. Mama, what exactly did I do to you? Tell me, I want to understand. But Mama Obina only hissed, turned her face and muttered, you will know one day. Obina walked away, heavy-hearted, unaware that his mother was already plotting the unthinkable. That night, Mama Obina sat alone in her hut. In her hand, a small calabash of herbs. She stared at it long and hard. Tomorrow, she whispered, tomorrow I will end those children's laughter. Just then, thunder rumbled in the distance. A goat bleated. The air felt heavier than usual, as though the gods themselves were listening. The morning was bright. Obina's children ran around the compound, chasing one another with laughter. Their little voices rose like music, filling the air. To Obina, it was joy. To Mama Obina, it was poison. She stood at the corner of the compound, her wrapper tied tightly, her eyes fixed on the children. Her lips quivered. Always laughing, always shouting. Every day, they remind me that I have no peace. But today it will end. In her hand was a small calabash of soup she had prepared herself. Inside it, she had mixed the dark powder given to her by a herbalist. Just a spoonful would silence the children forever. She set the calabash down, ready to call them over. But just as she bent to lift the spoon, thunder cracked across the sky, though there was no rain. Her right hand stiffened, the spoon fell, her legs wobbled, her face twisted. Before she could cry out, she collapsed onto the ground with a heavy thud. The children screamed, Papa, Papa, Grandma has fallen. Obina rushed out, dropped his hoe and ran to her side. He tried to lift her, but her body was limp. One side of her face had sagged, and her mouth had twisted. Mama, he shouted. Mama, what happened? With great effort, Mama Obina's eyes rolled towards him. Tears spilled from her. Her lips trembled as words pushed out, broken and heavy. Obina, forgive me. I wronged you. Obina froze. For the first time in his life, he heard his mother beg. The neighbors rushed in. Soon, Ekene and Ozioma arrived too. They stood in shock, staring at their mother, who lay helpless on the ground. Between gaps, her voice cracked. Obina is not my son. The compound fell silent. Even the birds seemed to stop singing. What? What do you mean, Mama? Ozioma whispered trembly. Mama Obina openly, her words flowing like a flood she had held back for years. When I was 8 months pregnant, your father warned me not to travel, but I went to see my sick mother in a nearby village. On my way back, I felt pains and I lost the baby. I cried. How could I face Maduka? After he had waited so long for a child, her voice broke, but she continued. On the road, I met a woman, weak, almost dying. She had just given birth to a baby boy. She begged me, please take my child. I don't know how long I have, but I know my son will be safe in your hands. Gasps spread through the crowd. I took the baby. I promised her. And when I returned, I lied to Madoka that I had given birth there. He believed me. Only my mother knew the truth, and we swore to carry it to our graves. Her hands trembled as she reached towards Obina. You were that baby. You were never mine, and she gave me something for you. A necklace. She said it will one day reveal your origin, but I hid it. I never gave it to you. Forgive me. Everyone was stunned. Ekene staggered back, clutching his head. Ojema burst into tears. Obina himself fell to the ground, shift beneath him. His whole life, every insult, every curse, every moment of rejection, it now made sense. The villagers whispered furiously. So, Obina is not even Mama Obina's child. No wonder she treated him like an outcast. Secrets are like smoke. They cannot stay hidden forever. Obina's throat tightened. He stared at the woman who had raised him, hated him, and now confessed the truth. Part of him wanted to cry. Part of him wanted to run. But Mama Obina's weak voice pulled him back. Forgive me. Obina, forgive me. Obina's lips trembled. Mama, after all these years. Before she could answer, a deep, unfamiliar voice came from the gate. We have been looking for you, Obina. Everyone turned. An old man stood there, staff in hand, his eyes burning with a strange fire. The compound froze. The story was only just beginning. The moment the old man spoke, the entire compound froze. We have been looking for you, Obina. His voice carried weight, the kind that made even the wind pulse. He was tall and aged, his white hair falling to his shoulders, and in his hand carried a staff carved with ancient symbols. Obina blinked in confusion. Me? The old man nodded slowly. Yes, you. The son of the late Igwe, the true heir of his kingdom. The crowd gasped in unison. Mama Obina's mouth hung open. Ekene and Ozioma stared, their tears forgotten. Obina staggered backward as if the ground beneath him had shifted. I don't understand, he stammered. The old man stepped closer. His eyes seemed to pierce through Obina's soul. You are not the son of Maduka, as you have always believed. You are the son of the late Igwe, the king who ruled this land before. We have searched for you since the day you were born. The villagers leaned forward, their curiosity too strong to contain. The old man tapped his staff against the ground and began his tale. Many years ago, the Igwe took a liking to a maiden in the palace. Her name was Nena. She was loyal, gentle, and beautiful. The queen at that time had given birth only to daughters, no son. The elders whispered. The people worried. The king was restless, for who would inherit the throne? He paused, his voice dropping. It was foretold that the maiden carried a son, the true heir, but the queen mother, proud and fearful, vowed never to let another woman's child sit on the throne. She plotted with 2 guards to kill the maiden before she could give birth. Gasps filled the air. Ojoma covered her mouth. Ekene shook his head in disbelief, but one loyal servant overheard the plan. The old man continued. She warned Nina, who fled the palace under the cover of night. There the guards caught up with her. They wounded her, but she managed to escape into the forest. Alone in pains, she went into labor. She gave birth to a son. The old man's eyes turned to Obina. That son is you. The words sliced through the air like thunder. Obina's knees weakened, his whole body shook. Me? The Igwe's son? Mama Obina let out a loud sob. It's true. The woman gave me a necklace for him. I hid it. Forgive me. The old man's gaze hardened. That necklace was the mark of the heir. The king himself gave it to Nena. With it, there would be no questions of your origin. But the gods are merciful. They have revealed you even without it. The old man raised his staff. The queen who lived in the palace lied. To protect her crown, she went out and slept with another man. She bore a son and claimed him as the Igwe. But that boy carries no real blood. The throne belongs to you, Obina. The elders have confirmed it. The gods themselves have spoken. A loud murmur spread through the crowd. Some clapped their hands over their mouths. Some shook their heads violently. Ekene whispered, "Our brother, a prince?" Ozioma's eyes filled with tears. "The brother we abandoned, chosen by the gods?" Mama Obina sobbed bitterly, her stroke-twisted face shaking. She looked at Obina with despair. "This is the child I hated, and he is the one destined for the throne." The old man's voice thundered once more. "Obina, the time has come. You must come to the palace. The throne awaits you. The gods will not wait forever." The villagers gasped again, staring at Obina as if seeing him for the first time. Obina's lips trembled. "But all my life I have been nothing but a curse. How can I be a king?" The old man struck his staff on the ground. "Because the stone which the builders rejected has become the cornerstone." The compound went silent. The next sunrise would change everything. The palace drum beat before sunrise. Word had spread like wildfire. A forgotten son had been found, the true heir of the late Igwe. The villagers trooped to the palace, curious eyes wide, tongues sharp with gossip. Obina walked behind the old man, his wife and 3 children by his side. His heart throbbed with every step. Never in his life had he been honored. Today, the entire kingdom bowed as he entered the palace gate. Inside, tension cracked like dry firewood. The queen sat on her high stool, her face twisted in disbelief. Beside her stood the young man she had long paraded as the Igwe son. His shoulders were stiff, his eyes darted like a trapped goat. The old man raised his staff. "Here is Obina, the son of Nena, the maiden whom the Igwe loved. The gods have confirmed it. He is the rightful heir." The elders nodded. Some wept openly, remembering the prophecy of long ago. But the queen's eyes burned. She stood abruptly, her voice sharp as a blade. "Lies! All lies! This bastard cannot take my husband's throne. My son is the true heir." The elders murmured, but the old man lifted his staff. "Again, the gods have revealed your deception. Your son is not of the royal blood. You bore him through another man to hide your shame. Speak the truth before the gods strike you down." The crowd gasped. The queen's son trembled. His lips quivered. "Mother, is it true?" The queen glared at him, then at Obina. Hatred clouded her eyes. "If I cannot have the throne for my son, then nobody will." She lunged towards Obina. Her fingers curled like a claw, but before she could reach him, her body stiffened. Her scream tore through the palace hall, and then she collapsed lifeless to the ground. A wail of shock rose from the crowd. The elders struck the floor with their staff. The gods have spoken. The illegitimate son fell to his knees sobbing, "Please forgive me. I don't know." But the elders shook their heads. "You carry no royal blood. Leave this palace and never return." And so he was banished, cast out with nothing but shame. The drums changed, trumpets sounded. The elders lifted Obina, dressed him in royal clothes, and placed the crown on his head. "All hail Obina, the true son of the Igwe, the king chosen by the gods." The palace shook with cheers. Villagers clapped, sang, and danced. Obina's wife held his hand, tears of pride streaming down her face. His children laughed and bowed before him, their voices carrying joy across the courtyard. Obina, the boy once cursed, once hated, once rejected, now sat on the throne. Days turned into weeks. Obina ruled with wisdom. His half-sisters, the daughters of the queen, embraced him warmly, relieved that the kingdom finally had peace. But for Mama Obina, peace never came. Her stroke left her half paralyzed, her regret heavier than any chain. She was moved into a quiet chamber near the palace, where a maiden was hired to care for her. Day after day, she watched from her mat, hearing the drums of celebration, smelling the aroma of the palace feast, knowing the son she had despised was now king. Her own children, Ekene and Ozioma, refused to return to her. They said, "Mama, we will not inherit your wickedness. We love our brother, and we will no longer follow your path." And the gods smiled upon them. Ekene's wife conceived. Ozioma's womb opened. Laughter finally entered their homes. Mama Obi now wept. So the boy I cursed, the boy I blamed, the boy I called a burden is the one carrying me in my old age. One evening, she begged the king to visit her. Obina entered her chambers wearing his crown, yet carrying the same gentle eye she had always known. Mama, he said softly. She broke down in tears. Forgive me, my son. I destroyed you. I shamed you. Yet the gods lifted you above us all. Obina placed his hand on her shoulders. I forgive you, but forgiveness does not erase the pain. May the God teach us all never to despise the ones we should love. Mama Obina wept until she wept no more, though her son forgave her. She never recovered from her stroke. She died slowly, with regret, as her closest companion. As Obina stood one day on the palace balcony, his crown gleaming, his children playing in the courtyard below, he whispered to himself, "The stone which the builders rejected has indeed become the cornerstone. Can any secrets truly stay buried? And when the truth is revealed, will regret ever be enough to heal the scar it leaves behind?" Some of the lessons to be learned from this story are: a lie told to cover shame can grow into a curse that haunts generation. Secret destroys family. Parental favoritism breeds division. What you reject today may be your salvation tomorrow. Bitterness is self-destruction. The gods or destiny cannot be jilted. Forgiveness is healing, but regret lingers. Goodness prevails. The end. I hope you all enjoyed this wonderful masterpiece. Please go ahead and click on the subscribe button to support us. Turn on the post notifications so you'll be first to know when I drop a new story. Like this story, share this story to your loved ones, and leave us a comment. And I'll see you in the next one, my loves. Till then again, bye. Mwah.
Thank you so much for watching till the end. Please click on the subscribe button to support us. Turn on the post notification to get notified when I upload a new story. Like, share, and comment your thoughts. Till then, bye.